Hey guys, we are here today with the man, the myth, the legend, Scott Jedlinski of Modern Samurai Project. Scott, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. And
my pleasure.
So right now we're at mission 160. Definitely come check those guys out. They are amazing. We are taking Scott's red dot course right now. I have some refining that I need to do with my red dot, and Scott is the master of red dots. So I decided, hey, we should probably take some tips and tricks from Scott here. Scott, I am a little confused, because I emailed you and we tried to coordinate, shirts.
Oh, my bad.
You said you were good. You said you had one, and then I showed up. You didn't have the shirt.
Yeah, my bad. I lied.
It's fine. Scott, if you want to give us a little brief introduction.
Sure. My name is Scott Jedlinski. Run Modern Samurai Project. Specialize in red dot pistols and the AIWB position. What my forte kind of is fundamentals through performance, right? So if you're having issues in acquiring the dot, tracking your recoil, tracking in transition, we'll help you get squared away on those with multiple ways of doing it, not just one way, but multiple ways of doing it. And then you can put it into your own application, whatever fits for you. And then I introduce you to performance, how to get to a higher level of balance of speed and accuracy. And then from there, you can explore with other instructors, whether it be self-defense, work, or competition.
So that's great. Yeah. You said that, which is a great segue to our next question. In your opinion, what is accuracy and how do we achieve it?
Yeah, so again, the problem with most people is that they don't know what they're going to do until the gun's up, right? They've acquired the dot, they've asked the dot if they're a good person, and then they decide to do things. But it's ultimately slow because they haven't decided on what they're gonna do before, and they don't know how to decide. I didn't come up with these, right? Very good things from, say, things I've taken from J.J. Rakaza, Donovan Moore, and some other outstanding instructors out there, is that it's all about the three pillars of shooting and the difficulty of target, right? Grip, sights, trigger, pretty much in that order. Accuracy is defined as what accomplishes your goal, right? The level of accuracy on a 1-inch square is much more refined than the accuracy on a full-size A-zone, as is the way you need to practically shoot those things. If you're as careful on an A-zone as you are on a 1-inch square, well, you're taking too much time. On the other hand, if you are as aggressive on a 1-inch square as you are in an A-zone, then you're not being careful enough. Those things can be highlighted or morph based on size of target and distance of the target, all of which you can put into the thing of the difficulty of the target. You need to decide what acceptable accuracy and acceptable speed based on the difficulty of target for you and your application. I can't answer that for you, okay? I can give you a methodology in the class for something to think about, and then ultimately you have to decide.
And guys, I 100% highly recommend if you guys are working with a red dot, you are thinking about transitioning into a red dot, that you come see Scott, take one of his classes. It's been amazing. I've had a great time here today. So along with that question, so it's more of that risk versus reward for you, and that's subjective, right? Depending on the shooter.
Sure, it can be, and your level of skill and things of that nature.
When did you start getting into the red dots?
What year is it now, 2025? I think the first time I put a red dot on my gun was 2010? 2011? I'm old, I can't remember back that far. Yeah, maybe 2010, 2011. I used to live in Northern Virginia, and the range I shot at was Silver Eagle. And like most indoor ranges, it was about 2 light shades above a cave, right? So when I shot iron sights, it was just blobs, right? 7 yards and in, that's all I did. And then my buddy had a FNX 45 with a Burris fast fire on it. Put that thing up to my eye, I was like, oh my God. St. Michael started singing to me, I could see everything, and from there, I never ever looked back.
Was there any kind of pushback from you transitioning from irons to the red dot?
No.
Because you have the arguments, right? Especially in the 2A community. Yeah. What's the best caliber, right? And then you have, do I carry one in the chamber or not?
Supported or offhand zeroing.
Exactly, all that kind of good stuff. What do you tell those people who are having that hard time making the jump because they feel like they should learn irons first before jumping into a red dot?
Well, first of all, we talk about the internet. Instead of arguing so much on the internet, why don't you go shoot? right? Talking about shooting is not what we do. We shoot, okay? Now, if you want to have some intelligent debate out there, just make sure it's intelligent. It's not just one way, okay? Pushback, yeah, sure, back in the days. I mean, it's just actually popped up about the whole irons versus the dot again and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't care what you do. I honestly don't care. I just know for me and most people that come to my class, the dot is simpler because it's one area of focus onto the target, superimposing the dot, the way you see everything else you do in your life. When you drive, are you windshield focused or road focused? You're road focused. When you reach for a knob on a door, are you hand focused or are you knob, right? So when you get to shooting, it's the same thing. The problem is that you had all these people learning to see the wrong way with a hard front sight focus, and they go back to the proper way and they have the stimulus of gun in hand. Because when they drive, they're road focused. When they open the door, they're knob focused. But they do the gun, time to look here now. So when they go back to the dot, they're slower and they have those pushbacks because they don't want to think what all the time they used before on perfecting iron sights and front sight focus was wrong. It's not wrong, it's inefficient, right? So if I can do the same thing I do in everyday life and just do it with my pistol, why wouldn't I want to do that, right? So, and then the other thing is your front sight is what, 60 MOA? My dot is 2 MOA. I'm going to get more information from it, right? So there you go. As far as pushback, you knock yourself out. If you can shoot faster and more accurately than irons, awesome. Right? But there's a reason why carry optics is the fastest growing division in USPSA, right? There's a reason why nobody shoots irons on their carbines anymore. It's all dots or LPVOs, right? So there you go.
Yeah, take that for what you will. So my next question is, right, so I'm a firearms instructor as well, and I have a lot of students come up to me and then I introduce to them a red dot, right, and I'm talking to them and they go, well, shouldn't I learn with iron sights first before I jump into the red dot, right? And I'm like, well, but why, right? In my humble opinion, right? Like it kind of takes out a lot of the extra noise with the iron sights, and I'm able to get to the basics a lot faster.
Yeah, or just reduce it down to the absurd, right? So for example, how old are you, my friend?
35.
Do you even know how to drive a stick shift?
Yes, I do.
You do?
I do.
You know anybody else that's younger that does?
No.
No, they do not. So if I want to learn how to drive an automatic, should I learn how to drive a stick shift first? Right? We all use computers. Should you learn how to use a typewriter first? Right? Even the Marines don't start their riflemen off on irons anymore. They go straight to the ACOG because it's better, right? If you don't agree with me, knock yourself out, man. Keep on shooting your irons. I don't care. But it's the same thing, right? Irons are backups. Now they're backups.
Right.
Treat them like backups, okay?
So a lot of the questions also I get is like the distance. What do I zero my red dot to? What is the optimal distance? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 5? Is it 25? What do you think?
Do what you want. Do what you want, right? In my class, I go through the 10 and the 25, okay? But there's plenty of other zeros out there. There's the 15, there's the 18. Just do it on some sort of practical application, right? If, for example, if all you have is a 15-yard range, then you're limited to 15 or 10. If you're gonna do it closer, you need a more refined level of accuracy like I do it on a 1/8 square, right? But you also need to understand where your gun prints at distance, right? Now the biggest debate is, do you do it benched or do you not do it benched? I don't care, right? I see no difference when I do it offhand versus when I do it supported on a bench, right? Now, if you have problems with your marksmanship and you can't get a consistent group from even from a bench, then offhand's going to be a train wreck. Okay, so you got to decide. But if you have all these things, have you worked on your grips, on your grip to get the gun stable and minimize the movement of the dot? Sure, your gun might be zero, but then when it comes up, what's going to happen? Okay, so I'm not saying. That's the debate. Do you zero the gun to the person or mechanically zero them, right? And it's across the board, the answer is, okay? My whole thing is get your mechanics down to where if you zero from a bench or not, it doesn't matter. And that's hopefully what I teach my students.
That was, I guess, the next question that I had to. What is that learning curve look like getting into a red dot? Is it astronomical going from irons to a red dot, or are you really just unlearning bad habits whenever you're into the red dot, because it does require such a precision fundamentals?
If I want to sound like full of hubris, how long did it take? 2 days. Come to my class. All right. First, you have to establish what philosophically you're trying to do. What's the application? Competition, self-defense, work. Could be a couple of them, right? Then you have to figure out what's the principle of what you're trying to do. And there's principles for a whole bunch of different things, right? Recoil, acquisition of the dot, recoil control, transition, vision, all that other stuff. So figure out what the principle is if you're trying to do it. Then try and come up or watch other people on how they do things fast and accurate and see what techniques they are using and emulate them and find the one that is most intuitive to you. But then you have to do the reps.
Yes.
You have to do the reps. My opinion, philosophy, principle, technique, reps, you cannot skip that. If you do, right, you may be good at it, but you're not going to fully understand it to be able to explain it, which may or may not be important to you, okay? But if all you do is hunt for the technique and then don't practice it, it's not going to be repeatable because you haven't written that into your subconscious. So I think that's the pathway of getting better at everything.
One of the things I really appreciate about you, Scott, is, first thing he said when I came to class is that it's not a tactical class, right? It's not like a tactical Timmy. We're doing, John Wick stuff out here. It is all about running the gun and doing the reps, right? And doing the reps correctly, right? Or, at least to your preference correctly.
Right.
And I love that. I love that. I could really care less what your personal preference is on some things, as long as you are doing the training, you're getting the reps in, and you're actually doing it and applying what you're learning, not just watching a bunch of YouTube warriors and then thinking whatever they say is gospel.
Right.
So I've been fantastic. We're having a good time with that.
Yeah, appreciate it.
If you could recommend some dots to somebody getting into a dot, what are the...
I'll just tell you my top favorites, right? The number one, right? And I can stack all the dots in my class, but my favorites are the ones that I use all the time: the Trijicon SRO and the Holosun 507 comp. In the same ones, I like bigger windows, stuff like that. The Trijicon RMR HD, the Trijicon RCR, and the Holosun 509T. Those five, if you pick any of those five, you cannot go wrong. Not that there's other good dots, but they have their other pluses and minuses. Cost, durability, reliability, stuff like that. I think those 5 that I mentioned, you can't go wrong with those.
Okay. You're a proponent of appendix carry.
Yep.
I love appendix carry. Been doing that for a minute now. Favorite setup with that?
Well, I'm biased because I have a pro model from Tier 1 concealment, right? So the two, in my opinion, the two best holsters for appendix out there is mine, which is universal. It's based on the light, so if you carry a light, mine is awesome, right? The other one is the APX, also Tier 1. It's my buddy Donovan Moore's pro model. It's geared to the gun, but they make it for every gun, but it also has a very adjustable mag pouch. For example, for competition, for regular carrying, teaching, I wear mine. For competition, because the mag pouch is so adjustable on the APX, I use mine and the hybrid of the APX from Donovan Moore's holster and bring those together so I can get that reload so much quicker in competition. So plenty of other good holster makers out there. LES Concealment, Filster, Spitzer Keepers, QVO, T-Rex, they're all great holsters and stuff like that. I'm just partial to mine because I helped design it, so there you go.
Yeah, love T-Rex, and then also GRITR has a brand of appendix holster.
Oh, there you go.
Try those out. Great for first-time beginners and all that kind of good stuff. Well, Scott, I know we got to get back to it. He's actually about to give us a little bit of a demonstration that we're going to post on IG, so make sure you check that out, Scott.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, man.
Guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to all of our socials. And if you have any questions, leave them down there in the comment for Scott or myself, and we'll get back to you.
Cool.
Yeah.